Mobile development is a thriving field, but you can almost get lost in the amount of different languages and systems around. So which one should you develop for? When it comes to mobile development, you pretty much have two options, Android and iOS. Which one should you choose between these two? Well, it comes down to three key things. One being the programming languages you're familiar with, for example, Java, Swift, Python, etc. Number two is the platform you're used to interacting with and have good knowledge of its functionalities and capabilities, will obviously make it easier for you to develop for. Now, for example, if you're familiar with Java programming and have been doing that for a long time, Android obviously suits you better, as most of the native Android applications are programmed and built in Java. But if you're someone who's used to using Swift or the Xcode environment, iOS application development suits you much better, as it's really your only option, as it's the only platform it's used for. Similarly, if you're used to interacting with an Android device on a daily basis, then you're going to find it easier to develop for the Android platform, and the same thing applies to iOS. That was for people with previous experience. Now, for people that are new or looking to switch over from one platform or the other, even though you have considerable experience in one platform, let's go over some of the advantages and disadvantages of developing for either platform. Let's talk about development environment. As with any form of development, the tools you use are key. If you're looking at something like Xcode, keep in mind that it's only available on the Apple Mac systems, and Apple refuses to make it available for systems like Windows. So if you're leaning towards iOS development, keep this in mind. As for Android, Android Studio is available all across the board on Windows as well. In my opinion, developing for iOS is generally easier, and another advantage that I spoke about in my last video, so if you haven't checked that out, I'll leave a link in the description down below. But the main point being, people on the iOS platform and in the Apple ecosystem in general are used to paying for things here and there, and a lot of the applications are bought from the Apple App Store. So if you're a developer, your financial incentive is obviously much nicer developing on iOS than Android, especially in the near future. So you can charge a decent amount developing for iOS for your applications. However, the long-term scope is definitely with Android due to its large market share dominating the market, and on an increase year after year with iOS in decline. As an app developer, your application will be available to a wider variety of people and a larger audience in general than it would be on iOS, even though your applications would probably cost less. If you optimize it well for different devices and the platform in general, it can still be financially appealing developing for Android. But what if you want to develop for both platforms at the same time? Well, there is a third choice, using a development environment such as Xamarin, which allows you to use a single language to code applications for both iOS and Android, as well as Windows, all using the same code and almost reaching native levels of performance and functionality. And that's using something called Xamarin and Xamarin Forms, but that's a topic for another video. So what platform you develop for is generally down to you in terms of what hardware and systems you have available to you, and your knowledge in any programming languages if you have any. Now, if you're new, I would suggest you try both platforms, see which one you like better, and stick with that. If you're looking for something just short term and your focus is only short term, I would suggest iOS due to its ease of development, and it's generally hassle-free in many ways. So for me, if it's short term, go iOS. If you're looking for something long term, go Android. That's all for this video, guys. As I said, we'll talk about Xamarin and Xamarin Forms in another future video. If you like my content, drop a like on this video. Leave a comment down below on your opinions on which platform you're looking to develop for, or if something I missed out, whether it's third-party development environments or anything at all. If you're new here, subscribe for more tech related content. I'll see you in the next one.